Hey guys, ClonGuy72 here, and today we're going to be watching Hings, the #1 player on Xbox, teach us how to exactly drive and play medium tanks. And he's in his TVP today, and he's going to be teaching us how to skillfully drive and flank your opponents so that they don't quite see you. Okay, he must just be on an off day. Let's go, and let's let him show us exactly how to flank and focus down the top players on the enemy team and take them out without tunnel visioning. Watch as he skillfully comes around this corner. Make sure there's nothing that's going to be shooting him. He's going to get this E100's flank, eliminate him from the game. But he's being careful about it. Always be careful. Don't ever tunnel vision, guys. Always make sure. Now, he is spotted on the left, but I'm sure he knows it. What's going to happen? Oh, it's just an oh-ho. Oh! Okay. I'm just going to make my own. And drag. Yep. Recycle in. Yep. Delete. Yes. Hey guys, ClonGuy72 here, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys exactly how I play light tanks, or how I feel light tanks should be played to their best performance, or capability, should I say. And we're going to be taking a look at the T100 LT, because it's a newer tank, and it's what I've been playing as of recently. The first thing you want to know about your light tank is definitely probably its mobility, and its camo rating. Now on the right side you can see its stationary and moving camo rating is 0.35. That's 35%, and its view range is 390 meters of view range. Now thankfully for you guys, I've already done the calculations. If you have all the things that give you more camo rating, excluding vents, and your camo rating will be about 56%. Now I do math a little bit backwards, but that's fine because I got aces. Now what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to find out exactly how close people need to be if they have about 450 meters of view range, and that is 198 meters away they need to be to spot you. So these are things you need to keep in mind when you're playing your light tanks. Now in my opinion, the first thing you want to do in your light tanks is definitely get the initial spots, find where people are going and headed and all that other stuff, and maybe even get the first couple shots off. Now from here, this guy will never spot me. He's 390 meters away, and as you know from what we found out, he has to be 198 meters away. Now I would recommend you don't shoot, but I do shoot. And because I shoot, my camo rating almost completely disappears, and I do in fact get detected. Next, what you could do is you can use the bushes you have or your camo rating to get some ambush shots in, so some quick shots. But remember, if you shoot, you're probably going to get spotted, so have a good escape route so that as soon as you get spotted, you can just run. Which I do get spotted here, and I'm going to immediately now get out of there and find a different location. My next step to you guys would be definitely to find a bush and sit in it, passive scouting. You've done your active scouting, now it's time to passive scout, because you now know where everybody is, and now you want to get some, some XP and some rewards, and maybe you're farming some marks of excellence. How do you do that? Well, spot tanks. So just find a bush and sit in it. Keep people spotted. Look at all these tanks we're spotting up here now. Now, you also want to pay attention to your minimap. Pay attention to where your players are on your team. And now I'm showing you this is a fail here because I don't have support. But I have all these tier 10s, and I wanted to show this to you guys because it's very, very important. And I overstayed my welcome, and the enemy team noticed it. This 113 is doing the scouting job, and as you can see, the only tanks that are spotted on my team are those two behind me, and those two are actually tier 8s. This TVP recognizes this, and he does actually come after me, and he does wind up killing me. So that, my friends, is something you don't want to do. Pay attention to where your team is and where you're going. Once you're done passive scouting and you want to take some more valuable positions, you know where your team is and you have support, you can then definitely go up into their faces, try to bait them, because from where I am now, I can shoot them, my team can shoot them, I don't have to shoot them, and if they decide to come after me, my team will annihilate them, because I know I have teammates behind me, I know where their team is, and I know I'm safe here as long as I don't overexpose myself. Now, I know that this 268 has a lower gun than I do, so I can shoot his cupola without him actually seeing me, so I do take advantage of that. Now that your team is doing the work for you, you can now ambush. This guy has just fired, and you had team support. They've gotten him low enough, so now I can move in and get to his side and finish him off because he is isolated. The 268 is dead. The Motherland that was with him is dead. And now that those tanks are dead, this guy's by himself. So the minute he's fired, he is now isolated by himself and doomed. The only thing that can save him now is artillery, which we will have a video on someday of me teaching you guys exactly how to play artillery. And that's one Type 4 heavy now out of the game without losing any hit points. Another technique you can use, which I call is the shoot and scoot, is you can just drive by, fire, and just run away. There's no need to go back, just get that one shot in, because now he's one shot lower for the rest of your team, or you for later. Now just be aware, if you attempt this again, they will be looking this time around, and unfortunately, yes, he does get the shot in. So the shoot and scoot, I would definitely recommend just once, especially earlier in the game, because you want to preserve your hit points. Now you definitely don't want to be brawling with tanks early in the game. You want to save your hit points for later. So what I should have done with this T-54 is just shot him and gone. But I wanted to brawl with him, and that loses a lot of hit points. And now I do out-brawl him, but you have to keep in mind that if you're in a light tank, mobility is key. You want an open area. And unfortunately, I fought him in a closed area. And because of this, it does mess me up. And I do get stuck on a building, which eventually gets me killed. As you can see, we're doing fine on hit points, but I go and I get too close, and I'm fighting him in a confined space, which is exactly where he can beat me, and because of this, he does flip me, or I crash and I flip myself, and because of this, I am now a dead man. Now that your flank is clear and you've preserved your hit points, you get the very juicy reward of going after, yes, the artillery unit. This is every light tank's dream, is going after the arty. Never, when you're going after artillery, drive in predictable movements. You saw as soon as I went around that corner, I just stopped, hoping that he would shoot past me, and in fact he did. And that is the reward. And now that you're in the stage of cleaning up, you can now flank the entire enemy team and get nice juicy rear shots, find people by themselves, and this is the best part of playing as a light tank. And preserving your hit points is because you have so many to spend and use on anyone you want. Now what happens if you do find yourself in a position where you do have to brawl to win or to kill someone? Well, if you have to find yourself in a brawl, use your speed, try to bait shots, get them to shoot, and as soon as you do, if you're faster than them, close the distance. And that's what I'm going to be doing here, and something you need to remember: never, ever, ever, especially when you're in a circle of death, back up. There's no reason to back up. Right now we are beating his turret, and if he decides to turn the other way, that means he has to turn around. And guess what? I'm a light tank. I turn around faster. So never, ever, ever back up. And as you can see, he's now changing the direction, which means I'm going to turn around. Not back up, but turn around and beat his turret going the other way. Now, I would recommend in this situation you track the enemy. However, I knew I would beat him in his rotation, so we do finish him off without having to track his tank. Now, if you've done all these things and you've preserved your hit points, you now have the health to YOLO in and reset caps if needed. And as you can see, I'm taking multiple hits, but I'm still alive because I kept enough amount of hit points. Unfortunately, I did not get there in time, and I did not reset the base, so we do lose this game. Unfortunately, it was a 1v6 when we started, and I got it down to a 1 versus 2. But unfortunately, we do not take the win. Now, a lot of players don't like the extreme weather, but you have to remember everyone's view range is cut by 50% except yours. Yours is cut only by 35%, which means you can, well, your view range is insane. And that also means instead of people spotting you from 200 meters, they're going to spot you from 100. So you have the opportunity to just get in people's faces and spot them. And just remember, as long as you spot them and you don't get any closer, they will not spot you. And so that's what I'm doing here. You can see what I'm doing. I'm not getting any closer to the enemies. I'm just sitting back here. And once again, 50% view range means 450 view range will not spot me from 200. Well, this is artillery. He won't have 450 view range, so I'm free to shoot him from about 200 meters. No problem whatsoever. Now that we know what we're doing, let's see if we can put any of that to practice here. I've got an ace tanker here, and we're going to see exactly how many of those things I do and how many of those things, well, I frankly ignore and get punished for. Because, remember, if you do things right, well, then you're doing it right. That's what I always say. And now you guys get to say that too. So, we're in the T100LT, and we found ourselves on Heilbronn. Now, what I'm going to do is there's a mid-ridge, or this big old hill, and I'm going to go up there, get some easy, cheeky, quick, early spots. Unfortunately, there I auto-lock the Sheridan, and we only go into his tracks. Those things have some surprisingly good side armor. They got like all this spacing there. Now, here's the shoot and scoot technique, guys. We put the shell in, and we drive off. And once again, like I said, if you decide to do it again, they will be ready for it this time. So please be careful. I wouldn't recommend doing it. You put the shell in. Now just run away. Now he puts the shell into us, and now we are hit points down, unfortunately. Now, remember what I said earlier. Don't do it a third time, or don't do it again. Well, we do it again, but I noticed he was paying attention to the T-54. He did just fire, and I know I'll beat his reload, so he put another shell in. And Sheridan is poking, and I am paying attention to him. But I don't think he's going to come up and over, because I do have friends behind me, and they were talking to me at the time. They were saying, my friend was saying that Sheridan is shooting him. so I did ignore him. Now, once again, I just want to keep my hit points. There's no reason to overextend. I just want to put some spots out. As soon as I spot, just pull back. Let's keep spawning. Find the enemy team. Find the enemy team. That is your job right now. Find the enemy team. Figure out where they are. And then, once you know where they are, you can start doing cheeky things. Auto-lock the E100. I'm never going to penetrate the E100. Even from the side, I'm going to have difficulties. I got to go underneath his side skirts and into his tracks. Now, there's a Sheridan there. We lost sight of him. There he is. Can we put a shell into him? He's driving rather quickly. Boom, we put the shell in. Nice, easy shot there. Can we put another shell in him? Now, notice he didn't spot us. It was because, well, we waited until there was a tree in the way. Once again, see there's trees in the way? We're trying to put a shot in this tiger, too. From this range, we're not going to be able to penetrate him very reliably. We also have .46 accuracy. Ferdinand on my left, unable to find shots onto him. But once again, we're just putting out view range, not overextending at all. There's an Action X down there. Can we find a shot on him? Nope. Not taking any unnecessary risks at all. There he is. Put a shell. We miss. Just putting out shots, doing what we can, just keeping our view range out, keeping extending view range. Now we go for a little bit of a blitz here. I want to get that Sheridan out of the game, and I did look around to my right, to my left, and I noticed there's nobody. I can do this. But I was wrong. I made a huge mistake, guys. There's a waffle there. There's a Sheridan there. We put a shell into Sheridan, and now it's just a matter of surviving. The Action X puts a shell into us. The Sheridan shoots us. He does not penetrate us, but he does do a bit of damage. The Ramatel Panzer Kampfwagen puts a shell into us. Now we know he's a one-hit. Got to get him out of the game. Going after the Sheridan now. He's tracked, so I'm going to Circle of Death him, hopefully. Can we get around him? Action X puts another shell into us. He only tracks us. Can we get around the Sheridan? He is tracked. Going to keep driving. No backing up. And he gets finished off by the T-54. There's a waffle on my left. Now what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to wait to go undetected. And as soon as I go undetected, I'm going to keep this solid cover in between me and the enemy. I'm not going to shoot these guys. There's no reason to. Just kidding. I'm going to shoot the waffle. Waffle is very tempting to shoot. But I shouldn't. I'm low on health. I'm a one-hit. I need to just get distance. If you are low on health, guys, just get distance. Get distance. Become a sniper. Become a passive scout. I don't care what you do. Don't get in line of fire. It's not your job. It was never your job to begin with, unless, of course, you're assassinating. Now there's a Ferdinand up there. I want to go eliminate him, but there is a light tank on my left. And I know there was a heavy tank up here somewhere, too, and that's what we're looking for now is that heavy tank. There he is. He's not looking at us, so we're free to put a shell into him. We know where all the other tanks are. We know no one else has any lines of sight on us. I thought he was going to turn around. He's not turning around for us, so we're able to put another shell into him. Notice how I turned backwards. The reason I turned backwards here is because I can run away faster. Remember what I said? Never back up? That's right, never back up. Now, I'm just going to let our light tank hopefully finish off that E100. No reason to take any unnecessary risks. He's got health, so he's got to finish off the E100, like I said. No unnecessary risks, especially when you're low health. Now, we know there's a Ferdinand, so we're probably going to go after the Ferdinand, but I'm just looking around real quick, making sure there's nobody around, because I made that mistake earlier, and I got punished for it. However, I'm still alive. There's the Ferdinand. It looks like I actually did forget about him. I must have thought he was dead. Now, he's turning for me. So once again, because he's turning for me, I'm not going to engage him. No reason to engage him at all until he fires, and he does fire, and we can go in. Now, of course, turretless takes us right, go for his tracks. Unfortunately, my shell flies left, and it penetrates his lower plate. But he is turretless, so it's not a big deal. Aim for his tracks again. Terrible shot there. And unfortunately, we don't get the track. But he does get killed anyway. Now, once again, I was facing the way I wanted to run. Because after that shot, if Buck in his 105 didn't show up, I would have wanted to run. Firing on the move. It's fine to fire on the move. You know he can't spot you. He won't spot you. You may as well just fire. I'm never going to pen a Type 4 Heavy, though. I wasn't sure if it was his front or his rear or anything like that. So I decided to wing it anyway. Now, as you can see, I'm driving to the left. Everyone else is driving straight. And why am I driving to the left? Because, once again, I'm trying to keep him out of my maximum, or their maximum view range, of where they can spot me. I'm trying to stay out of the detection range so that they cannot spot me. And also, there's RD over here, and that's always a juicy thing. There's the Death Star right there. How far away? 500. He will never spot me from here. We fire, but he goes behind a building, unfortunately. I should have waited, because he does stand still for a moment. Actually, do we get another shell in? We do get a shell in. We damage his tracks, unable to take his tracks off. And once again, we're staying at range, staying out of their maximum view range, staying out from where they can see us. That's what you want to do, especially when you're low health. Now, can you imagine I didn't make that early push, guys, and I was still only missing 300 hit points right now? I could go in and feast on these guys. Unfortunately, we don't do that. Now we got the Chieftain, 411. I know he's not going to spot me from there because he's got 390 base view range, I think it is. And if he's got optics and all that other stuff, it's only going to get to probably about 470 meters view range, and my camera rating is still really good. Even firing, I would say he'd have to be about 350 to see me while I'm firing, so I know I'm far enough away to do that. Now you're going to see here, I'm going to do another one of those shoot and scoot techniques, and I get really lucky. It wasn't a purposeful shoot and scoop. It was a purposeful shoot and scoop. I didn't think he was going to be quick on the trigger. However, he was, but it kind of looks like he may have got a little bit of server lag because it looks like it ghost shows me. I'm just telling you this now, guys. I don't know why I'm spoiling things, but that is indeed what happens. And remember, never back up. Drive straight, even if it doesn't seem like the right thing to do, you will get away faster. And this moment here was one of those moments where I thought to myself, do I back up? Do I try to get into cover? Or do I continue to drive forward? And the answer was pretty obvious. It was continue to drive forward. That's where your momentum is taking you. That's where you drive the fastest. Even though the target you're trying to get to is further away, it's the better option. And so that's what we do here. I drive straight. I didn't think he was going to be looking this way. Unfortunately, he is. We put a shell in. His shell misses. And I thought about turning around and running the other way, but I changed my mind. Drive forward and get into cover. And we escape. He gets set on fire by Buck and then finished off by the 5100. And we take the win. Victory there, guys. Victory there. Let's now go look at the post-game's results and see exactly what happened. 4,700 damage, 2,800 assist damage because of the spotting we were doing, of course. We get the ace tanker, and we get 1,500 base experience points. Buck also had a great game. I don't know if he aced it or not, but he may have. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something this game. I hope this was insightful. Oh, that wasn't the 105. Sorry, that was a 5100 that got that much. My mistake. I hope you guys all enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you did, if you liked this, please slap that like button and leave a comment section below, or leave a comment in the comment section below. If you want to send me any replays, I do have a bunch of you guys of replays, which I need to get to, guys. Holy cow, you guys have been great. If you have any replays, send them to me to this link on the screen now. And if you want to join the Discord is going to be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Take care. Merry Christmas. And peace out.
Oh, oh, oh.